Hello and welcome to TalentSprint for another video presentation on banking. This time it is the Banking Ombudsman which we are going to talk of. An ombudsman is a person to whom a grievance can be aired, and he or she or the Banking Ombudsman or the Ombudsman in any field will take into consideration the views of both parties concerned and pass a final order. That is the duty of a that is the duty of an ombudsman. In the banking field too, we have a banking ombudsman. The banking ombudsman scheme is for the resolution of complaints relating to certain services rendered by banks. A banking ombudsman will not hear complaints related to, let us say, a manufacturing company or a consumer services company. It will hear and resolve complaints only related to the banking sector. That's why it's called a banking ombudsman. A banking ombudsman is a person, it is not an entity. A banking ombudsman system is a cheap and inexpensive forum. It is established under Section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. It was established in the year 1995. This again reaffirms my faith that although the Banking Regulation Act was originally passed in 1949, several amendments to it from time to time have made the Act even relevant today also. The Banking Ombudsman was established in the year 1995. The Banking Ombudsman is a senior official appointed by RBI to redress customer complaints against deficiency in banking services. Very clearly, it is for deficiency in banking services. It's a functionary appointed by RBI to address and redress complaints against or grievances against deficiency in banking services. 15 banking ombudsmen have been appointed with their offices located mostly in state capitals. In India today, we have 15 banking ombudsmen. They are mostly located in the state capitals. They have been appointed by the Reserve Bank of India to hear grievances from the members of the public regarding deficiencies in banking services. All the scheduled commercial banks, private sector, public sector, old generation, new generation, foreign banks, everybody, all the scheduled commercial banks, regional rural banks and scheduled primary cooperative banks are covered under the scheme of banking ombudsman. In other words, any customer of any bank, whether it's the public sector, old generation private sector or new generation private sector, or a foreign bank or a regional rural bank or a primary scheduled cooperative bank, any customer of any of these banks, if he or she has a complaint or a grievance against the customer service in any of these banks, he or she can write to the banking ombudsman located in that state capital or located in the nearest center. In the case of a grievance, the customer has to first approach his bank and lodge a complaint. That is the first step. You cannot go to the banking ombudsman directly. First, you have to approach your bank and lodge a complaint formally. If no reply is received from 1 month from the bank concerned, then the customer can approach the banking ombudsman. The complaint has to be made within 1 year from the time the bank has replied to the customer. It could so happen that I lodge a complaint against, let's say, X bank, and the bank has given me a reply, but I am not satisfied with the reply. So I can then go to the banking ombudsman. But when I go to the banking ombudsman, it has to be within 1 year from the time the bank replied to me. I'll give you an example. Let's say my bank has committed a deficiency of customer service on the 10th of March 2016. I lodged a complaint with my bank manager saying that this is the deficiency in the customer service which you have done, and so please explain to me and let me know how you are going to compensate for this deficiency in service. This complaint was lodged by me on the 10th of March 2016. And as we know, the bank has to reply. And if the bank does not reply before 10th of April 2016, I could have approached the banking ombudsman directly. In this case, let us assume that when I filed the complaint on the 10th of March 2016, on the 25th of March 2016, the bank replied to me saying that their side of things as to why they feel that it was not a deficiency in customer service. Now, I got the reply on the 25th of March 2016, but I am not satisfied with that. Then, before the 25th of March 2017, I should approach the Banking Ombudsman. That is the meaning of what I said before, saying the complaint has to be made within 1 year from the date the bank replies. You cannot go to a banking ombudsman directly. First, you have to approach your concerned bank for redressal of your grievance. If the bank does not reply within 1 month, then you can go to the banking ombudsman directly. Or if the bank has replied within 1 month and if you are not satisfied with the reply given by the bank, then you go to the banking ombudsman, but within 1 year from the time from which the bank replied to you. That is the system to be followed. The complaint to the banking ombudsman can be given even on a plain sheet of paper. It need not be attested, it need not be notarized, it need not be going through the bank. It can be directly given to the banking ombudsman, and the banking ombudsman has to take cognizance of the fact that the complaint has been given by the customer, even if it is on a white sheet of paper. So that is the meaning of by saying that it can be given on a white sheet of paper. Normally, we find that most complaints have to be attested by a notary public, have to be self-attested, have to be going through the particular institution, etc., etc. In the case of banking complaints, if you want to complain to the banking ombudsman, all you have to do is to ensure two things. That first, you have approached your bank and given a complaint in writing. Second, you have waited for 1 month for the bank to reply. If the bank does not reply, then you can go to the banking ombudsman. Or if the bank has replied within 1 year from the date of reply from the bank, then you can go to the banking ombudsman. And when you go to the banking ombudsman, all you have to do is to write a complaint to the banking ombudsman against your bank on a plain sheet of paper. That will be taken cognizance of by the banking ombudsman, and they will take action on the bank concerned, asking them to explain why this deficiency in service was done and why further action cannot be taken against the bank concerned. If the bank concerned is replying to the banking ombudsman with their side of the story, and if the banking ombudsman is satisfied that the bank has got a valid explanation given for that, then the matter will be resolved at that level. However, if the reply given by the bank is not to the satisfaction of the banking ombudsman, then the banking ombudsman will pass instructions for the bank to rectify the deficiency in service and may award compensation to the account holder. Of course, the bank concerned has got the right to appeal to the National Banking Ombudsman, who is stationed in Mumbai. When the state banking ombudsman has awarded compensation to a customer, the bank can appeal to the National Banking Ombudsman, and the National Ombudsman again will go through the entire history of the case and take a view accordingly. It is like when you are awarded a judgment by the lower court, then you go to the High Court. The High Court awards the judgment, then you can appeal to the Supreme Court. The National Banking Ombudsman is like the Supreme Court of the banking industry. So anything which goes to the National Banking Ombudsman, he will hear both sides of the party and pass a final judgment. And the final judgment of the Banking Ombudsman, or the final judgment of the National Banking Ombudsman, is final and binding on both parties concerned. So this is how the system of Banking Ombudsman works in the country. And until I see you in the next video, is bye from me for now. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for watching.